Hi, guys. This is Deborah Northcutt, your speaker support concierge. I'm doing this again. I had went live, but for some reason, there was no volume. So I'm doing it again. I'm back with 4 tips on finding and pitching to podcast hosts. Now that you have your speaker one sheet created, this is what you need to do. You need to start looking for podcast shows to pitch to. So, what I would do, number one, go to Google and type in your topic plus, use the plus sign, podcast. And I'm going to use this as an example. Go to Google and type in working moms plus podcast. Google should bring up a list of topics of all the podcast shows that specifically are for working moms. Now, what I would do, tip number 2, is get a spreadsheet and list in that spreadsheet all the podcast shows that came up. I would put the name of the podcast, their website, the host, the date that you sent your pitch, and and start working from there. I know it's a lot of tedious work, but that's what you have to do in order to be a guest on podcast shows. Now, you want to build up your resume and you also want to get better with your speaking skills. And what a better way to do it than be a host on podcast shows? Now, you want to let the host know what you can do for them. If you have a newsletter, let them know that you will promote your show in your newsletter. If you have a huge email list, let the host know that you have a huge email list and you'll promote the podcast show to your email list. Same with a social media. If you have a huge social media following, let the host know that you're going to promote this episode to your social media following. Now here comes the one sheet. When the podcast host contacts you through email and lets you know that they want to bring you on and be a guest on their show, they're going to ask for your one sheet, your bio, your social media information, and whatever else information that they want, you to submit to them. And tip number 4 is don't just pitch one time to the host, to the podcast host. Pitch at least 5 times. It's up to you how many times you want to pitch. 3 to 5 times, I would say, is a magic number. I know when I have pitched to podcast shows in the past, and the second time that I pitched to them, the host might come back to me and say, "Oh, I didn't see your pitch. I missed it. I never got it." So that's why it pays to pitch more than one time. Now, I followed up the first time, then I would wait for 3 to 4 days and I would follow up again the second time and the third time to the host. So don't be afraid to follow up. You have to follow up in order to be seen and for the host to want to contact you. So that's my tips for finding and pitching to podcast hosts. I'm Deborah Northcutt, your speaker support concierge. I'll be back next week with another tip. So take care. See you next week. Bye. Bye for now.